Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back with another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing Loki episode number 5, Journey into the Mystery review here on the channel. So yeah, another Wednesday, another episode of Loki. This episode was pretty good. I liked it a lot. Uh, and it is called Journey into the Mystery. It picks up exactly where we left off in episode number 4. So episode number 5 kicked off pretty well, especially with the stuff from the last episode. Warning: spoilers ahead for episode number 5 and pretty much the whole Loki show because I might touch on a few things. So there's your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the episode, click off the video. I mean, come back if you want to. But anyways, let's get into it. So let's first of all let's go through a quick recap of what happened. So we saw the events picking up after the events of the last episode, where Loki was transported into the void, as they call it, and pretty much he meets various versions of himself, including like Kid Loki. There's an alligator, a whole bunch of different kind of Lokis, President Loki, a whole bunch of different Lokis, and he variants of himself pretty much. And basically, he's trapped in the void, and he's trying to escape, but he's unable to escape because of something called the Goliath, which is like a huge monstrous being that basically makes them stay in the void, and they're being told that the TVA basically dumps them in the void when they're kind of done for. So that's pretty interesting. We got some stories from the other Lokis. We got different Easter eggs, especially, which I will be focusing a little bit on this episode. Uh, yeah. Anyways, it wasn't too crazy in terms of content in it, but I mean there is definitely a lot of thoughts to go with it. So for my thoughts wise, we definitely saw some aftermath stuff, like Mobius came back, which is pretty cool. We saw that the guard who helped Loki and Sylvie before actually got imprisoned for that, and we saw like the head judge uh, is kind of getting a glimpse of more towards Kang, because I believe in the comics she is actually Kang's wife. So that's definitely going to be very interesting. I mean, is she trying to, maybe does she know Kang's involved? It's kind of unclear exactly what her ideas are. So that's pretty interesting as well. Uh, as of right now, the show doesn't even I just realized the show doesn't have too much of a villain. I mean, I guess you could say TVA, but it doesn't have one key person. I'm expecting, honestly, by the end of the show, we're gonna maybe see a glimpse of Kang or something. So that would be interesting. Now we definitely saw different stories from the different Lokis. For example, we saw the older Loki say he actually escaped the when he died by Thanos. He escaped by using projection and then exiled himself pretty much. So that was pretty interesting as well. We saw the kid Loki say he killed Thor, which is interesting. We saw different versions of Loki, which was pretty cool. Alligator Loki. I thought that was pretty funny, to be honest with you guys. It was so funny being like, why is there an alligator here? And then he's just like, there's a variant of you. So that was pretty interesting as well. We also saw Sylvie. Seems to be, in my personal opinion, I don't think she's a Loki anymore. Like I think she might be Enchantress, because they even said it, and they're like, Sylvie's very different from any of the Lokis, in the sense that she wants to help and stuff like that. So I'm thinking maybe she is an Enchantress or something. Or Enchantress, maybe even like just a variant, some other variant, which I definitely think could be interesting as well. You kind of get a glimpse of that as well. Something else I like about this episode too is it showed a lot of character development in the sense of Loki. When we first saw him, he was just like more of like, he didn't care about anything. Whereas now you kind of see sorting caring about stuff, and he cares about dealing with the TVA and stuff like that. And he cares about Sylvie and all of them. So that's pretty interesting as well. You can also see his character development compared to other Lokis, for example. Because if you realize the other Lokis kind of act like a little bit selfish at times, exactly how he would act before. And then you kind of see the character development with the Loki we usually see, which is the Tom Hiddleston Loki, which is easier to know. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. good character development, I must say. I must say about this show, I definitely really like the writing. Really stands out about this show, and that's something I really like about this show. Uh, in terms of Mobius, definitely interesting to see him back. Uh, I hope he helps in the season finale. We actually kind of got something set up for the season finale. I presume Loki's probably gonna go back to the TVA with Sylvie, and we're gonna have a big huge fight down, and maybe get King the Conqueror coming. Cause that personally, I would like 100% like to see that. Hopefully, come on, we gotta get our first glimpse at Kang or something, because I do believe Kang is probably the main villain for this. Uh, is like behind the TV. I'm not gonna say he's the main villain for the show, but he's behind the TV. I'm gonna take a guess. Uh, there was a lot of Easter eggs too in the void. If especially we saw, I know for sure some that stand out is something like, we saw Yellow Jacket's helmet. So that was interesting. I mean, that means they're in some kind of time portal, which is pretty cool. I mean, we kind of knew that already, but they're in kind of some kind of zone, which is pretty interesting. So it's interesting to see what happened to him. Of course, back in the Ant-Man movie, I believe he shrunk down so much. I think he splatted or something. I can't remember what had happened to him, but I just remember he turned down too small, and then that happened, and it just messed up. So it's interesting to see he just kind of teleported there. He's probably dead. It was interesting. I also saw a projection of the Thor frog, which was interesting because you could see a glimpse of it, and it was the Thor frog. So I'm very curious to see what's going on with that. Maybe that's maybe that's the Thor from the Alligators universe. That would be funny, but I'm really curious to see if that's what's going on with that. We saw Milner too, so that's pretty interesting. We kind of saw that they're building. Excuse me about that. Sorry, I've been yawning by accident. But I'm very curious. It was very curious to see that they built up Asgard, and they're kind of realizing their powers and stuff like that, which is really interesting. So I found that pretty interesting. Uh, anyway, season finale. I'm pretty excited for. One episode left until the show's finished, and I'm very excited to see it. Anyways, overall rating for this episode: easy 10 out of 10. Very good episode. Really enjoyable. But anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.